Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're put in the back now? Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown.
Alright guys, so back again with the next fight for today, fight number 6, which is for section 14, moving along very well, almost only 8 more fights to go, and this is an interesting fight that I put together, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So we put Kenshi from Mortal Kombat versus Hoahmaru from Samurai Showdown versus Storm Shadow from the G.I. Joe universe. So I thought it was interesting. This fight just popped into my head one night when I was just coming up with ideas for my fights, and here I am just to talk about it, see how everybody enjoyed it. So other than that, enjoy. Let's kick it off with Kenshi. Kenshi basically is from Mortal Kombat, so everybody should know that by now. He made his debut in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, and he looked like basically a warrior swordsman with black body armor. He covered his eyes with like a reddish sash, which gave us maybe an indication that maybe he was blind, or he just was skilled like that. But we find out that he was blind. He actually was pretty much blinded by Shang Tsung. Actually tricked him into basically, and that's been Kenshi's goal, is to, and I quote, to slay the sorcerer who blinded me. That was his line. The sword that he wields is a very ancient sword. It's actually bonded to him. Actually, I did some more research on it. Yeah, and it comes from Shang Tsung's ancestors. Actually, Kenshi's ancestors. The one thing about Kenshi is he mastered kind of telekinesis in a way. Like, he moved things with his mind, and even though he's blind, he can move things with his mind, and he's still a great swordsman. Even before that, before he became blind, guys, he was a great warrior, and he always wanted to challenge himself against other warriors, but every time he won, and that kind of made his pride kind of, spike up even more, and thinking he was unbeatable, and kind of it cost him his sight in a sense. But Kenshi is definitely a great character. He's been in pretty much a fair share of Mortal Kombat games. The last game, of course, was the last Mortal Kombat game he was in. And he definitely lives up to being one of those great swordsmen in the Mortal Kombat universe. Just a very good character. I have a lot of respect for him. And yeah, pretty much. Alright, so let's move on to the next swordsman, the samurai, Hoahmaru, from the game Samurai Showdown. He's probably the most known character in that game. He's the main protagonist of the game, period. And Hoahmaru basically is a character that is very confident of his skills, his skill level, through his senseis and them teaching the art of Bushido and things like that. He started when he was about 15 years old. He challenged one of the other major characters, Jubei, to a battle, but lost because of lack of experience. Pretty much he because of his training, because of his bravado, He was taught by other people. A person known as Nicotine pretty much helped him train. Now, pretty much when he's not in battle, he enjoys the thrill of fighting. He loves challenging himself against strong opponents. He seeks enlightenment with each encounter. Like, in his mind, communicating through the art of combat is his way of enlightenment. Does that sound less, way of the samurai? Not necessarily. But he doesn't like just get into a battle. Like, he doesn't really, just go get goaded into battles. Like, he always, as long as a fight increases his skill and strength, then he'll get into a fight. You see that a lot with the SNK characters. Now, in terms of like his skills, now Hoahmaru basically, he can create small hurricanes just by slashing his sword in the air. Like, he's really strong like that. That shows that he's got a lot of skill if he's able to do something like that. Just make a small hurricane, the hurricane attack as he calls it. He's just reviled as just a power-based sword fighter, and that's something that has always been great about him, and you can see why he's probably one of the most recognizable of the Samurai Showdown characters. But don't knock the others as well. But he's pretty much the face of the game, though. All right. So let's move on to the last combatant, and that's Storm Shadow. Storm Shadow, a member of the Oroshikage of Ninja Clan in the G.I. Joe universe. He and his quote-unquote brother Snake Eyes are members of that. When Snake Eyes left, that kind of pretty much hurt Thomas. That's Storm Shadow's real name. That hurt him deeply, and he felt like you betrayed the clan, to go be a soldier in a sense. Storm Shadow's skills are phenomenal. Swordsmanship, great. Hand-to-hand combat is excellent. Sheer knowledge of many styles of weaponry, but of course his most trusted and useful weapon, of course, is his two katana blades that he loved to use. He's also a master of the art of ninjutsu. Most of the Oroshikage members are. He's had many trainers with the Oroshikage, from the soft master, the hard master, all those different terms of masters of the Oroshikage. And when we see him and Snake Eyes go blow for blow, it's always magical to me. When I watch them fight, it's just like great stuff. But he's kind of crafty, very devious, and his means sometimes is any means necessary to win. Sometimes I've seen Storm Shadow sometimes goad people into doing things like use people as hostages while he's fighting. I've seen him do it with Snake Eyes a couple times. He took, let's say, an injured Joe and used him as hostage. Like, you're not gonna come after, you're not gonna kill your fellow soldier to get to me, brother, and things like that. He uses a little bit of dirty tactics as well. But Storm Shadow's still a great swords player, great ninja, great warrior. Don't let that fool you at all. Alright, so in terms of a battle, let's get to the battle. In terms of these three great swordsmen, great characters, you got a swordsman, a samurai, and a ninja going at it. I don't know what you would classify Kenshi, samurai, or that's why I just said swordsman. This would be interesting. Prior to these guys having no knowledge of each other, and they just, first of all, Hoahmaru and Kenshi would definitely, I hope I'm saying his name right, guys, would really love to battle each other. This would definitely push Hoahmaru's skills to the limit. Like I said, he's always looking for a great challenge. And I think Storm Shadow, he would love to fight Storm Shadow as well, Samurai versus Ninja. But this would be good because first of all, they both got to watch out for Kenshi's telekinetic abilities. You know, him able to move things with his mind. You know, Hoahmaru would never underestimate Kenshi because thinking, oh, he's blind, he's got to be good. But I can see Storm Shadow kind of falling into that favor, maybe, you know, testing how blind, testing his Kenshi's handicap in a sense. But I definitely don't see these guys killing each other because well, in terms of Hoahmaru and Kenshi, I don't see them two killing. I actually see they might stop fighting after a while and turn on Storm Shadow because he's the one you got to really watch out for. You know, I can see Storm Shadow, you know, feeling that he's being overwhelmed, so he calls in other members of his, you know, of the Oroshikage to help him out. You know, so it becomes more of a handicap match between Kenshi and Hoahmaru versus the Oroshikage. But for me, guys, I'm looking at this maybe as another draw. Depending. That's just me. But I leave it up to you guys to decide. Kenshi, Hoahmaru, or Storm Shadow. And I will see you guys this Friday with the next two fights for Section 14, which will pit number 7, Blackheart versus Trigon versus Mundus by Omega Jack Red 666. And the next fight, number 8, Overkill versus Cyborg versus Bastion. So I'll see you guys then, and you guys know the slogan, battle on.